It is a really nice neighborhood, and it is a place where if you were deciding to come visit Bogotá, you very well might stay. Up here in the neighborhood of Chicó, there are a lot of pretty high-end hotels. Dogs playing, people enjoying the afternoon. Hey, this is the neighborhood you should stay in. Welcome back everyone, Bogotá, Colombia. Today we are out here, out in Bogotá, again on a partly cloudy day. The sun actually has been shining through a little bit today. Today we're right here in Parque 93, Park 93. Up here in the neighborhood of Chicó, which is a neighborhood on the north side of Bogotá. It is a very desirable neighborhood, very upscale neighborhood. It's one of the neighborhoods that was suggested to me on all the travel forums of where to stay when visiting Bogotá. Now, I didn't actually stay here. It's a little bit out of my price range, to be honest. I'm traveling on a budget, but it is a really nice neighborhood, and it is a place where if you were deciding to come visit Bogotá, you very well might stay. Since it's such a popular neighborhood, I figured we give it a little look today in this video, take a little tour, see what there is to offer here in Chicó. So come along. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you want to help out the channel and help it grow, I really would appreciate it. Click on the like button down there, the subscribe button, and the little bell next to it to be notified for when new videos drop. It really helps the channel grow because it's going to help the YouTube algorithm recognize this content and spread it to other YouTube viewers. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, I would appreciate that as well. You can leave a super thanks by clicking this thanks button here and give a small donation to the channel. I appreciate your support. So back to the video, enjoy. So Parque 93, right here, beautiful park. A couple blocks wide, and it's the neighborhood around this park, the few blocks in every direction, is called Parque 93. So it's sort of like a mini sub-neighborhood within the neighborhood of Chicó. The north of here, a couple blocks, you're in the neighborhood of Chicó Norte, which is like North Chicó. And actually there is a Transmilenio stop over here called Virrey, which is named after Parque Virrey, which is over on the west side of the neighborhood. We'll go see that for sure. But as you can see around the park, there are some nice apartment buildings. There are actually a lot of pretty upscale hotels and restaurants in this neighborhood as well. Right there across the street, pretty upscale restaurant, Bagatelle, and a lot of other things in this neighborhood to explore. We'll take a quick look around the park here, and then we'll head out into the neighborhood and see what there is around there. Oh, savor this moment right here walking through the park. The sun has come out between two clouds. I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like, judging on where the clouds are, the sun may be out for a whole 3 or 4 minutes, which in Bogotá is a blessing. But anyway, this park is quite beautiful. It looks like the center area with the grass here is currently roped off. I think that's actually because looks like they're planting new grass. This actually looks to me like new patches of new grass. So I don't know if this is always roped off in the center or if you can go through here normally, and it just happens to be now that it's roped off. But like I said, very beautiful park, and right in the center of the neighborhood. At one end of the park here, this is like the east end of the park. They have little Parque 93 cafe tables. You can sit and enjoy a snack or a coffee. There's a little playground for the kids. And like I said, surrounding the entire park, lots of restaurants, shops. It's a pretty happening, busy neighborhood. There is, if you want your U.S. fast food craving satiated, there is a McDonald's right here. But also Leños y Carbón, which I imagine is some sort of a grill. Looks quite delicious. Pescaria Amarillo. Looks like a delicious seafood restaurant. The whole area is very, there's lots of trees. It's very well kept, as you would expect from a neighborhood that, like I said, is quite an expensive upscale neighborhood. Now, to give you an idea, when I was searching for where to stay here in Bogotá, I was able to find on like Airbnb and other apartment rental websites, short-term rental websites, I was able to find places to rent here in this neighborhood in Chicó, around Parque 93. But they were actually quite expensive. They were going about, I don't know, $1,500 per month for if you were going to rent a whole month. Now, if you're not familiar with these types of rental websites, a lot of them will give you a monthly discount. So if you're renting for an entire month, you're staying in a city for, 4 or 5 weeks, like I usually do, you'll get a discount. So even with like a discount, these we're renting at somewhere between like $1,200 and $1,700 per month. So not exactly within my budget, because I am traveling on a pretty tight budget, but definitely less expensive than it would cost to rent a place in a neighborhood like this in, say, a big city in the United States, like San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, something like that. But I think you get what you pay for. Like I said, it's a very, very nice neighborhood, and because it is it's very walkable. There's a lot of shops and restaurants and things that you can walk to very easily around here. It would be quite a nice neighborhood to stay if you were not really familiar with the city, and you just were going to stay here for like a week or two maybe, and you just wanted to find a place to stay where you knew that the neighborhood was going to be nice, you're going to be safe, and there'd be a lot of stuff that you could walk to, and you'd be able to get to the Transmilenio if you needed to take that down into like the other parts of the city. There is also a Claro store in this neighborhood, which is very, very helpful if you end up staying here. It is a full-service Claro customer service center. They also sell phones here, so if you ever need to buy a phone, you can buy one right here. But it's nice. There are a lot of Claro licensed vendors, usually just like a smaller shop where they'll sell a prepaid card. You never really know what you're going to get there, I found. So I always try to find one of the big customer service centers, and they have one here in this neighborhood. Running right through the neighborhood here, it is Carrera 15, which is like Street 15. It's a pretty large, pretty major commercial drag. There are shopping options across the street here, little strip malls like this. And actually, up here about, a block further, there is a large, centro comercial, a shopping mall, indoor shopping mall, that I actually want to go check out, because from what I've seen, it looks like it's a really ritzy mall. Probably too expensive for my taste, but I still want to check it out because, I want to go inside and see how ritzy it actually is. Let's go check it out. It's called Centro Comercial 93 because it's right at the corner of 93 Street. Let's go check it out. Centro 93, el Centro Comercial, the big shopping mall. Right here on the corner of Carrera 15 and 93. Let's go in and check it out. When we enter the mall, I decided to have a coffee here at the Juan Valdez and just get a shot of the inside of the mall. And it's a little smaller than I thought it was going to be. And unfortunately, it was also a lot more empty than I thought it was going to be. It seemed from the pictures I had seen a very fancy mall. And there were actually some very nice jewelry stores in here. There were also a lot of travel agents, it seemed like, booked in in space in this mall, but there was also a lot of abandoned space. As you walked around the mall in different areas, you could see it just sort of felt empty. which I don't think is a knock on the neighborhood itself. It's still quite a nice neighborhood. Retail, brick and mortar retail, I think is just dying all over the place. It's a worldwide phenomenon, I think, especially in like places like this. But as I was filming some of these like shots inside the mall, I was asked politely to stop filming and leave the mall by a security guard. Now, this has happened to me in a couple places before in malls. I don't quite understand it. Filming inside a mall, I get security guards who show up and they're very angry and they say that I can't film inside. I don't quite understand why. The only thing I can think is possibly they're worried that people are filming inside to like recon the place to eventually come back and maybe steal stuff. I don't know, but I just said great, fine, and I stopped filming and I left. One of the other things about this neighborhood, this is a place that you would decide to stay, is there are a lot of pretty high-end hotels in this neighborhood. We're walking actually east now, away from Parque 93. And yeah, this is definitely a neighborhood where you'd be able to find, like, the 4 and 5 star hotels are in this neighborhood. Let's see if we can. I think there's one right around here we could find. Take a look. There's this one right here, the Hotel Click Clack, which is a pretty cool building. This is a 4-star hotel, but like a smaller kind of a boutique brand hotel. And just down the street, right there, past those trees, there it is, the Estelar. Lots of embassies in this neighborhood as well. I've noticed that right there is the French embassy, right across from the Hotel Estelar. This neighborhood has a lot of avenues with bike trails on it. You can see people cycling along the bike trails. Right here along Calle 92, Street 92, as you can see, the avenue with the wide walking and cycling trail that runs down the middle. And in fact, we're gonna head this way on 92 because there's a little museum actually out here that I want to see. It's the Museo del Chico. It's like the neighborhood museum, and we can actually walk along this way, along the avenue, along the cycling trail here, which is nice. It's like a nice walk with all the trees. Very nice. The whole street here, Calle 92, Street 92, looks like it's all lined with pretty nice looking apartment buildings. Some of them are like gate secured, like this one over here. And of course, if you end up renting in one of these apartments, looks like there is one right there that is available for rent. But renting on this street, you get to be on the nice avenue with the bike path and all the trees. Not bad. When we arrived up here at the, campus for the Museo del Chico, the Chico Museum, the park was, closed. The gates were chained, and that was already a bad sign. I had thought the place was going to be open, and when we got to the main gate here, it was closed. It was definitely closed. The gates were chained. There were people inside who were doing landscaping, and I yelled to one of them and asked him, "Hey, is the place open?" He says, "No, it's closed." And I said, "Well, is it just closed today, or is it permanently closed?" And he yelled something back I didn't quite understand. As you can see from the sign here, it was supposed to be open on the time that we were here, on the day that we were here, but it was just closed. And This, unfortunately, is something that happens. Sometimes information is not always correct online. Sometimes places are closed when they're supposed to be open. And as much as I wanted to visit this museum, we were unable to do so. But I think that it would be a nice place to visit if you came here and it happened to be open. It looked pretty cool. It was in like this cool old, like an old house, basically a very old building, very cool antique building. It seemed like it had a lot of cool stuff inside, and I really would have liked to have visited it, but unfortunately it was closed. So you're on the streets, like south of Parque 93, Parque 93. Very, very quiet and peaceful. Off the main street. Very, very quiet. It's very nice, actually. Bogotá is quite a loud city. It has a reputation for being very loud. It is very loud. It's just like there's a lot of traffic in Bogotá. It's very densely populated. There's like 8 million people in Bogotá, which is basically the same population as London, but the city is like half the size geographically because it's up in the mountains, like some of the other cities we visited, like Quito and Cuenca, which of course much smaller populations, but in a mountain valley the city can only really expand out so far because it's surrounded by mountains on all sides. You have to build in the valley. So like I said, it's very dense city population wise, which makes for quite a loud and noisy city. But looks like in this neighborhood some nice little peaceful back streets. Not bad. Well, since we struck out on the museum and it was closed, it was really disappointing, honestly. I was really interested to see it. I'll let you know a little bit of what it is. Basically, there's that park with like some beautiful gardens around there that you're supposed to be able to go in and walk around and hang out. I don't know, the sign said everything was supposed to be open, but it was all locked up, and that a guy who was working there told me everything was closed. But the museum itself is a museum of decorative art, and looks like a little museum, but like I think it's also in like an old, like a historical building. So I guess if you come here to Bogotá and you visit Chicó, maybe it'll be open like when you're here, but unfortunately when we were here it was closed. I think what we'll do is we'll head down here to Calle 90, Street 90, and we'll cut over, we'll head west, and that'll put us back by Parque Virrey, which we can explore. That's back over by the Transmilenio station. I actually decided to cut over a little bit early because there's this nice little creek that runs through this whole neighborhood. I had seen this on the map, but I sort of forgot about it. And along the creek, there is a nice like jogging trail, people walking their dogs, people jogging. Definitely a nice addition to the neighborhood. This, with the little creek running next to the walking trail, this reminds me a lot of Cuenca in Ecuador. We did a couple of walking tour videos in Cuenca, and there is also a place like a river walk. The river runs through, and there's like nice walking trails along the river. Now this, I think, is like more like a man-made canal to sort of channel water and stop flooding, because of course we're in Bogotá and it rains all the time. But it is nice to have this little walking trail with like almost like a little mini forest. And I think, I'm not sure how far down this goes, but we'll see if we can take this hopefully all the way back down over to Parque Virrey. Some happy dogs playing here along the walking trail in the little park. Adorable. Now, if I remember correctly, I think this little creek that we're walking along actually goes right through Parque Virrey. If we go around here, there should be a place where we can cross and continue on through this little mini park along the creek here, and get hopefully all the way down to Parque Virrey. So you can see from the map here, El Gran Chico, this path that we've been walking on is this whole planned walking path that goes for several blocks all through the neighborhood. It's actually really nice that they have this whole thing planned out. It's a very I didn't know about this before I came and visited the neighborhood, so this is quite a nice discovery. Well, we were able to cross there, and the park actually, or the little walkway here, actually widens out just a block down into like this little park right in the middle, in between a few apartment buildings there and the canal over here. It's like a little playground for the kids. It's nice. There are a lot of these like streets that come in and sort of dead end along here, along the walk. And as you saw on that map that we showed and we explained a little bit, this is sort of a whole pre-planned development for walkability through this neighborhood, which is really nice. And some of the streets, like you can see here, they don't fully dead end at the park, but they come through and sort of circumvent the park. I'm not sure when exactly this was all constructed. I would imagine it just kind of looks like to me that some of these streets used to run straight through here. This whole section with the walk along the canal, I don't know, it just seems to me like this used to just be a street that would run through, and they managed to close off some sections like back there where the playground is, and up here where it looks like there's another little like mini park. It's quite nice. And then where there are some of these like more open green spaces where of course people are taking their dogs, there's also these like bridges to cross over the little canal there. See right here the little canal, the little stream, bridge coming across. Interestingly, they put these up so I guess people don't cycle across here. And a little green space on the other side as well, because here we're on the cycling path. Something that I didn't mention, on one side you have the pedestrian path, and on the other side of the canal there's this cycling path that runs the whole way. And here, right next to the entrance to Parque Virrey, there was a sign that sort of explained the biodiversity preservation that was one of the goals of this whole like El Gran Chico project. Even though it's a pretty narrow walkway with parks on the side and parks along it, they've managed to preserve some of these different animals that you can see, and plants, of course, and whatnot that you can see here on the sign here. And they have a little sign just sort of at the entrance to Parque Virrey, talking about the canal and the preservation that they've been attempting to do here. And here we are in Parque El Virrey, and it's very nice. When you cross the street and come into the park, the canal continues through the middle here. There's bridges across it, of course, like these bridges, which I think they're just using to, grow plants on. But there's a pedestrian bridge further up you can see. And there's like walkways on both sides, which is really nice. The bike trail continues through here as well. You can see people cycling. And lots of doggos in here hanging out, enjoying the day, enjoying the afternoon. It's really nice. Looks like they have little playgrounds dotted in amongst the park for the kids, which is great. Nice. And this park, El Virrey, sort of a very narrow, long park that actually continues down probably about 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 more blocks. But at the end of it, down at the other end, that's where the Transmilenio station is. It's very nice. Also in the park here, a wonderful little like body weight workout area. I've seen these in a lot of different parks in like cities in our trip here in South America and Latin America. And I think it's really, really cool. This, I think, is something that should be in pretty much every park. Because, like, who needs a gym membership when you can just come to the park and you can do some exercises right here? So, as we walk through the park with dogs playing, people enjoying the afternoon, I think this is a nice way to sort of close out the video here for our tour of the Chicó neighborhood. I was a little disappointed that museum and the accompanying gardens and parks was closed today. I'm not even sure like if it's permanently closed or if it's just closed now because, I don't know, we're sort of here around the holiday season. Perhaps it's closed for that reason. You never really know. Sometimes things can be very unpredictable, and all the information, you know, both online and like on the signs that are literally on the outside of the building can tell you that, yeah, this thing should be open, but sometimes it's just closed. And you gotta roll with the punches. So we adapt and we move on. But like I said, I think this is good. Good place to end it here in beautiful Parque El Virrey. Hope you enjoyed the video, a little tour of the Chicó neighborhood, the neighborhood that was recommended to me to stay, and everywhere I found when I did research on Bogotá said, hey, this is the neighborhood you should stay in when you visit. I didn't end up staying in this neighborhood, of course, and at the end of our stay here, we are going to do a tour of the neighborhood where I did end up staying, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But hope you enjoyed this video. There is more coming from here in Bogotá, and we will see you in the next one.